Some years ago, I struggled with burnout. The doctor said that it was depression. I was a little bit hesitant to accept the diagnosis, and I started doing a lot of research on adrenal fatigue because I knew that I was exhausted, right? I was so exhausted all the time. No matter how long I slept, no matter how much I tried to rest, it just was not working. And somebody asked me just recently about how I survived, and I thought, let me share that. It's something that I actually managed, and today teach my clients how to take care of your time during this time. So let's do just that. Hey guys, I am Damaris, and today I want to talk about the mental fatigue that one goes through when you're exhausted or you're even in burnout mode in your life. And these are the things that I shared in terms of how to save time and how to save your energy, your mental energy in decision making. I'm sure many of us at our ages, we know the stress of mental fatigue and the decision fatigue that comes with having to make repetitive decisions all the time. I've seen some memes saying that I understand that we have to be adults, but every day, that's what I need to do. Unfortunately, that's the truth, right? That is what we need to be doing every single day, making decisions, what to eat, when to eat, how to eat, when to buy the food that needs to be eaten, all of that. So I just want to share two things that helped me when it came to my meals. The first thing was to plan my meals. I had an inventory of meals that I know would be helpful to me, ranging from easy to prepare to hard to prepare. So I would then make sure that the hardest ones, maybe it's not even hard, it's just a matter of how long it takes. Let's call them hard for lack of a better word. Those hard ones, I would make sure that I do them maybe on the times where I am most energetic. Remember, the idea here is to save as much energy as you can, and to also limit how many times you have to be making these decisions. We talk about decision fatigue a lot in psychology. And let's make an example. If you don't really understand what I'm talking about, if you've never been burnt out. So let's say you want to look for a show to watch, and you get onto your streaming app, and then you just keep scrolling, right? There's so many options, right? You keep scrolling, you're looking for a movie. Maybe you have an idea, you want something light, but then you get distracted by this one. Maybe you look at the info on there, we go. Maybe you had 40 minutes of your evening that you wanted to dedicate to yourself. Before you know it, but 40 minutes is gone. You did not watch a movie or a series. Okay, there's no movie for 40 minutes. So, or a series, right? So you didn't watch anything. Why? Because you struggled to make a decision. And the problem is that the whole day we are busy making decision after decision after decision. So if you're going to be using your decision making capacity or muscle on menial things like choosing what to eat, really, you could be using that at another place that is more effective. So to avoid that, make sure that your meals are well planned out. I remember in my dieting days, there was this boot camp that I attended, and we were eating from a very different diet I didn't really know much about. So I didn't have the opportunity to make something quickly, because everything that I needed to make needed a lot of researching and trying to figure out, does this work with this and all of that. So in that, I used to take some time and plan my meals ahead, and that helped. That technique I learned when I was doing macro counting, because macro counting is so big on data and accuracy. Hello lab staff. It requires time for planning. So at least have the time to plan. But you can batch this, right? You can maybe put an hour away to plan those meals. So what I used to do was to have like 10 meals, as I said, ranging from easiest to make to hard to make, and then the hardest ones I would then make on the days where I'm feeling more energetic or I have more time, depending on what comes first. At the time, I used to even say that I'm not a leftover type of person, but I'll come to that and I'll tell you just now how that actually changed for me. So I would have 10 meals that I could rotate. 10 meals, all of them, no recipe required. I can do them in my sleep, and then I would just be cycling them. That's the first part, right? You can just do that. I then took this method to the next level. So for the pros of planning and meal planning, what you can do next to reduce your thinking even more, you can allocate those meals to certain days. So you have 7 days a week. Now you can say, all right, I'll do meal 1 on this day, I'll do meal 2 on this day, meal 3 on that day. Why this is important? It helped me make sure that I never have to think about what to cook. I always have the ingredients, because now that I know what's coming, I can actually plan ahead. And if you are a stockpiling person, it helps you to know that you have your ingredients for the time that you need. So if you are busy, or maybe you are struggling with fatigue and burnout right now, this is one thing that you can do today that will help you to actually get some hours back from your day. The second thing is leveraging leftovers. I know this one is a bit controversial. Not everybody likes leftovers. I didn't used to like leftovers myself. I had this thing that leftovers this and leftovers that. We're not going to get into that one right now. But I started leveraging leftovers, and I started becoming intentional about my leftovers. Made sure that I plan for the leftovers. And what did this help me with? This helped me when I didn't want to cook. So I would have leftovers, not necessarily to be eating the next day. That's another thing that many people make the mistake of. You have the leftovers, you want to eat them the next day. Maybe that gets boring. But you can have the leftovers, depending on what it is. You can keep them in the fridge, and then you can use that at another time. Or in your menu, remember we spoke about your menu in point 1. In your menu, you can have those meals that are perfect to freeze. Those things that when you freeze them, after you defrost them, they still maintain their taste, their texture, and all of that. And we can do another video on that later. You know your meals, right? Make sure that you have the leftovers that you like. When you are tired, it's not always, well, for me at least, I'm not a fan of cold food. Therefore, salads will be the last thing on my mind when it comes to a filling meal. So I usually say to people, just create a quick salad and you can save time on that. But if you don't really like that, like me, when you have that left over, you are able to then just bring out a portion from your fridge and warm that up. You have your meals done for that night. So give yourself a break if you are unable to share the load of the cooking. This can help you so much in terms of your decision making, in terms of your fatigue, and it helps you feel so much better, because coming back from the office or from wherever, you know that you've got some meals waiting for you. There is absolutely nothing as frustrating as having to make a decision on what to eat every single time. You have to decide on breakfast, you have to decide on maybe lunch, you have to decide on supper, you have to decide on lunch for work. All of those things, they really get tiring. So we don't need to be doing all of that. We can save ourselves a lot of time from just thinking about that. Our mental clarity becomes better, and we can save ourselves time from having to go to the grocery store to be buying these things every time we need to be using them. So the crux of this is that you will need to put some time. You need to plan these things come up with your meals and then work from your list and stick to it. This is perfect if you are alone, right? If you have a family, get their input. You wouldn't want to have leftovers that nobody will want to eat. So come together and have a decision on what we're going to make, how we're going to be managing the leftovers, how we're going to be managing the days that we are tired, and which days are we allowing ourselves to be tired. Right? I hope that this helps you to actually get a few hours from your week, a few minutes from your day where you have one less thing to worry about, but you can still eat good food that you actually enjoy. These are the things that helped me in terms of food when I was struggling with burnout and fatigue and lots of frustration and busyness at the time. If you enjoyed this, please share it with other people. And if you want to know what else I did to save time and my energy when I was going through the fatigue and the burnout, let me know, and then I can create another video just to tell you what I did. I hope this is helpful, and I wish you a day where you don't have to think about food 3 times a day, because you still need to eat. So I hope this is helpful. Bye bye for now.